Buonasera. Grazie. Buonasera, io è un grande piacere essere qui. La poesia di me questa sera è una poesia amore per di altri, tutti di altri, diversità. It's not because I don't love you that I can't see your face. It's just that I can't face your face without eliminating mine. When you look at me, I turn away so I don't quite notice your eyes. If only I could look at you without you looking back at me, I could begin to see you. Discover the curve of your lips resembling mine, that on the slope of your cheek runs a river as deep and dark as the one I grew up near, as shallow and dry. And maybe, if you dared look back at me and saw your tears filling my eyes, we could begin to replace that never-ending fear with love. La prossima è una poesia per me è molto importante perché vivere in San Francisco in questa situazione è ogni giorno è una storia come questa. Eviction. She was under the cover when the letter arrived. Her mother 3 days dead. The letter of eviction. The landlord, her godfather. She 30-something and her entire childhood in that apartment. A year later, the inevitable. 2 days to go to final eviction. And 40 years of a parent's life still untouched. A kitchen full of cookware, books, photos, toys, clothes and paintings, and she paralyzed with fear, no longer caring on what will happen to it all. Just wanting to get on that plane, that one-way ticket out and no return. Leaving this city a little less quirky, a little less diverse. And so many with her, torn out of their warm beds, like Gong Ji Lee and her husband Poon Hung Lee and their 48-year-old handicapped daughter, who were forced to put their entire life in storage while callous green Charlie stood panting at the door with insatiable eyes, almost pissing himself with delight at constructing yet another condominium for Google Glass Tom and Technomic. Oh, golden nugget of a city, basking in the glory of your rich palette of people and multifarious cultures, your quaintness, your tolerance of others, your aspiration to freedom and choice. Don't let go of yourself. Breathe in, breathe deep before you tear yourself apart. La prossima è una poesia, semplice. Pilgrimage. When you sleep, You leave it all behind. And when you wake, you start all over. Become a slave again to all those little habits that make up a day. In my case, sitting at the table overlooking the sea to surprise myself with how many shades of pink make up a sky. How grey or blue the water is, how tired I am of imitating nature with paint, how tired of writing life instead of living it. You understand, it's a black day, the treacle seeped in under the door. If I build a bridge between one thought and another, I have to go there. But if I replace it with a river I need not cross, I can go to sleep again or become a fugitive in my own dwelling. Because I know that outside everything is happening. Someone's being born, someone's dying century after century without end. And in my dreams, I walk down streets in cities I've never been to, with people I knew as a child or people I've never met. And my mother's put on the yellow dress with black and white flowers my father bought for her birthday before he got drunk and spent half the night sitting in a chair singing, "Old moon," so loudly we couldn't sleep. But now is now and then was then, and if I go sideways, the two shall never meet, and I can slip out of the door without being noticed and embrace the sweet silhouette that's ahead of me on the sidewalk in negative and positive eternity. There are so many answers I don't know the questions to. Or so it seems around the tables in the cafes and bars where the art of parallel talking cuts new ground, where we shout and wash down history in bottomless glasses and teach each other geography and politics endlessly, resurrect the dead to feel alive. In another sense, there is very little to say about what's new. Haven't we all been there before? Or haven't we repeated everything more than twice, thrice? Don't we already know? We do not learn so well from mistakes. And don't we like to go there again and again, just in case? Make pilgrimages to places where corpses once lay and children are now playing. Forests have grown tall and silent. No better lesson than this then. To be born, grow and learn the names of places that once were and still are playgrounds instead of battlegrounds. To go there and look, to turn every stone, to call out and listen, to hear it all begin again, deep inside, deep outside, deep everywhere. Playing the Mahagoni for David Patrick and Duncan. That night you put on the Mahagoni. We danced till dawn without speaking. You with full-blown AIDS kept a tight secret, and he, young without knowledge of it, bursting with love and passion for you. And I, a mere pawn in a game I didn't then quite understand, but willing, oh so willing, to weave my body into the story unfolding. in that deep midwinter night, in that small room between the canal and the road. How my role was to hold you apart without knowing why, while your hearts and bodies pounded through me like express trains. Eyes full of longing, deep thrusting glances, each moment tearing at the unsayable, the forbidden. Oh, moon of Alabama, Inama, say goodbye, sings Jenny. The night is on its knees, and the needle sticks yet on the gramophone. We begin again closer to the core, a muffled hurricane moving towards Mahagoni. And here you come, dressed as a judge, wagging your finger, he down on the floor begging, and this naked denial needs dressing up. In the deepest water we bury the living before they die. In the early hours, I'm the last divider, the membrane between the two. As they both dug into my arms as if they belonged to either one of them, the thoughts among us unspoken. In days to come, we hummed the Mahagoni and burst into intimate laughter at the thought. Month later, David Patrick took his last breath of the plague. A couple more later, after reportedly missing for a week, Duncan's body was found in the canal. We must have whiskey, or you know why. Grazie. La prossima poesia è una poesia per una donna giovane, anche trafficking è corretto? Beh, questa è la poesia. Sold. If someone had told me, I wouldn't have believed it. Maybe I was dead. Maybe I am dead. My name is Slave. I don't remember much now. It stinks too much. If I go there, I can't enter unless I fill up the holes. But the hate, the loathing is still in me. That's why I barely look in the mirror. All I dreamt of was my grandma's white bedspread when I went down, down to the stench, the never-ending stench, the unfamiliar hairy growings, the unmentionable, the unthinkable filth of it all. And how she kept it so white in between feeding the cows and marking out the stables. How she washed herself after the long day's work before slipping into bed. Every day the smell of poverty. And I, so blinded by a promise from a stranger of a life somewhere else, could not even begin to imagine that the whiteness of a bedspread on a bed in a dirt village would keep me from going, hours, days, weeks, forever, grandma with a soap bar, the sun filtering through that small window, her veined hands keeping clean, soaping the floor, and I thought I could do better. And here I am, sold, wishing for my body to fill up with sand, to plug all my openings. No entry written on my forehead, but they keep on coming. I don't even count anymore. They're dicks and money I never see, and freedom's on the other side of the pane of the window. But I'm shit deep in shame. I can't move, but I know I can't be bought. They get a dead body to come alive on and in. I'll always be just a body to them, but nobody to myself, but liberty's soul alone. In the blue, in the blue. I see the world when I close my eyes, when I listen in the blue. I hear a voice which has lived in the blue so long that it contains all memories, all mistakes, all fantasies. A voice in zero where it's quiet, so quiet. I can hear all names in one name, but the blue flame licks his name to a burning whisper. The voice that lifts you from inside takes you out to sea where a thunderstorm is building and brings you back over the still water. The voice that goes where nobody else dares. That voice burns in me in the blue. As my hand moves across the paper, a gust of freedom enters through the window. The sun plays on a wave in the far distance, and this moment belongs to me and can't be bought nor sold because it has no price You may breathe in the same air as us, but yours come with a price like everything else you touch. And though you own 99% more than the 99% of us, I'm almost sure you gasp at the thought that we breathe in 99% more of it than you do. These arms of flesh linking across the globe, this global campsite has no borders, calling out for a new order without orders, putting a stop to this accumulated wealth falling into your bottomless pockets. It might seem like a mere whimper to you, but the numbers are swelling and the vision is getting clearer and stronger as we count the days till a teacher can be a teacher, a doctor, or simply just be a human being, and not a cog in a corporate machine spinning to hell. When we can learn for the sake of learning, and not just simply to get a job. As my hand moves across the paper before I rush into the day, I wish and hope we can take this greed out of the political system, use our voices, set down our tents where they belong. Questa è molto piccola, Infinite Blue. Oh, forse questa, sempre ok. Questa anche molto piccola poesia. Sigmund Freud ha scritto tanti libri con questo soggetto. Mia poesia è molto bella. Apropos Pasolini. When you enter through the door of your mother's house, don't be afraid. Stop and look around. Climb the walls if you like. Crawl under the bed, play hide and seek. But watch your father, watching your mother, watching you. Crossing the room. Infinite Blue. Anche piccolo. Blow me away from all this blue. Stroke me gently, glide your hand across my back. This is my message for your thoughts. The smell of blue, infinite blue, and the touch of your palm on my back. Questa è una poesia dedicata per un prostituta giovane, per tutte prostitute in questa situazione. He tells her he loves her and beats her heart. Every bruise a deepening on a skinny ass with just formed breasts. You understand, he loves her. She knows that as she steps into the dark, damp night, sliding in and out of cars, the tiny body, a slot machine. You understand he loves her, and she knows that. To the sound of a panther's sigh, her childhood laughter disappearing down her throat. They found her in a ditch, with sludge in her hair. Her epitaph reads, time of death unknown, place of death unknown. You understand, He loved her. You understand? She believed him. I'm not going to read audio, Cancellata audio, but her name, that person, her name. I keep thinking of the little girl with pigtails, her deep gaze turned inside out. Keep thinking of her and all the people who are on the move to a better world. How they walk over mountains, cross seas in dingy boats, ride on top of trains in freight cars, and how they run out of oxygen. The inconsolable longing for what they don't know yet or what they could have had. The father who tells his daughter, not yet 4, to play a game and to not stop until they have arrived. Give her a game certificate for the journey, which does not bear her name. Tells her to remember that her real name is not her name. And she's excited to be tossed on this wave to nowhere soon. And she doesn't forget to forget her name, the real one, until she has arrived. About tempo, okay? Audio, okay. Okay. La penultima. La poesia è scritta tanti anni fa in Francia, ma audio è sempre audio. To be in the moment, a grey slab of sky over Italian poplars along the River Rhone, and thinking about the Palestinian boy shot to death, the Israeli soldiers torn to shreds, who tires make tears, who wins loses wins willfully without thought, who lays his body down to die with the name of God on his lips. Here, silk is made soft, the flowing length of it enough to make a mummy out of yourself. But in among these thoughts, the smell of a blood-stained rag gets stuffed down the throat of a pitiless bull choking on his own blood. The long tongue of autumn curls to a silence. Overhead, a black bird stabs its wings deep in the heart. Who do you love most with your eyes closed? Who do you trust most with your eyes closed? These thoughts kill me also, and here comes Mother Death again, flashing her teeth. Oh, hate, how I hate you. But you are so easy to love, so loyal in your blindness. Hold me in your thorny arms and spike me till it hurts so hard I want to let go of you forever and stop boys throwing stones older than themselves at men who should know better than shoot at people smaller and younger than themselves. Stop them becoming fodder for the big boys who play Monopoly with people's lives in marbled halls, whose faces they never see, whose hands they never shake. The moment of truth then, the one you live for, the one you die for. loud to my two birds. He put his hand on my shoulders. We became a tree. At night, we moved branches in his store. Afterward, we slept. Two birds killed by one stone.
Buonasera a tutti. Mi piace molto essere qui per leggere la mia poesia per voi. E anche con Agneta e Umberto speriamo questo evento sarà memorabile. Comincio. Una piccola poesia. Vision. I came out of it knowing I had to learn death by heart. You showed me the lines in my very own brow. I was never very good at reading by heart. I need to have a score in my hand, because I see now it was too much for me to memorize death with a big open breath. I needed to bend and bow. I needed to run my tongue along the ground of the here and now and taste my son, who died before he could know he'd be delivered in the form of a letter written in ink invisible to everyone but me, and embrace me as I lift my eyes and raise my voice and say, I saw you there. It was impossible not to recognize you, and I embrace you in return. Mother, we are not in this world. A long time ago it happened, it was over. The world, the war, the world war. I took you by the hand through it. Tiniest hand, tiniest star. You didn't move, then I was dead, then you were dead. In the open mouth of grief, there is a candle. I am not with my breath. I am the slow peeling away of the skin, and all the deaths I've seen register in my eyes. I have been a laughing tree beside a stove of honeyed bananas. I have been a silver fox and the elegance of heels. I have been what has brought you down, and the words you look up. I have been the spit upon and the ganged, the slain and the invincible, the bitch of moons, the whiplash of compassion behind the drug of sluts, the red thread that liberates all convicts, the thimble that balances your jiggers, the kalimba that wraps your nightmares in lullabies, the power of birth when a child dies. We are not in this world. A long time ago it happened. It was over. The world war. I took you by the hand through it, tiniest hand, tiniest star. Why should I weep now that you've entered the darkness? Many like me are around you. Our ether is without end. Should we never speak again, you shall write our conversation. Should my voice fall short of your heart, but that is impossible. You're still such a child. I'm weeping at the window. Other voices will lift mine and carry it to the center of your breathing. Oh, my beloved, when you burst into flames, when your bones were blistered, at those precise moments, who drove the seeds in a rapid torrent of thighs and targeted the yearning eggs with glory? When you grew like a primer into a text of rage at all the injustice of this profiteering hell, when your mind was broken, when your sex was split like Korea, Vietnam, like the North and South, when poisons came with pleasure and the antidote was dead. Who cut through the air to bringing a chicken's neck? Who tore the feathers and flung them to cushion your fall? I am the creature who runs through the street screaming your name against the mockery. I am the sleep of the suicide and the cataract of immemorial hair. I am the attack of liberty on the heart of heart, and the poem on the heart of hearing, the solitude, the grace, the smile that returns your smile from the depths of the biology of labor and joy. Only the heartbeats of the dithyramb approach. Only the soul thrums of the cosmos define. We are not in this world. A long time ago it happened, it was over. The world, the war, the world war. I took you by the hand through it. Tiniest hand, tiniest star. The next is oil water. Oil water, a spill of gold that's killed the workers, animals. Cross your border, drill a hole. Arizona, why you so cold? Tears in Detroit people's eyes. The only water not privatized. Motown, lowdown, Louis Joe, all's backwards, don't you know? 35,000 without any, who refuse to send their daughters to hoe for pennies, who shout, "Retour, retour," they backwards cry, "Water, water." One day, we'll sink this stinking system of money-stuffed lying mouths. Our pliers will get into their mugs, yank all the rotten teeth out of their bite, fit those mouths over the pipes where the spill of such swill of profits finally will be plugged, and corporate thieves, downright plunderers of what's decent in life, will guzzle till they drown of death. And all in Detroit, New Orleans, and Cleveland too will raise their glasses full of simple H2O and toast and sing, because no sink or tub will be without it. The water song, Agua, Aqua, Do, Vasa, Voda, Hallelujah, nature's natural again. La prossima poesia è una poesia in aprile 25 in San Francisco per la celebrazione della vostra volta Repubblica Italiana. Io ho letto questa poesia, fatto una scelta, ti ho domandato a leggere una poesia e
Raffaele Mazzano, questo sì.
sì, e questa poesia scritta per la mia traduttrice della mia poesia in italiano, e la poesia è Agneta Falcanche e da Raffaele Mazzano. That's you for Raffaele Mazzano. You make possible what can't exactly be. Understand what can't precisely be understood. Put your foot down where there's a resonant footprint in the earth, where it belongs. Wait before eating to see whether others need more, and worry things into existence only to translate them into hope. When I think Italy, a certain kind of weeping comes to my eyes, not because I'm sad, but because I'm singing. That's you. the Chaplin Arcane. 1. 100 years since kid auto races in Venice, I stand before the mirror and shave my Stalin stash off, affixing your little black patch of a mustache, slipping into the big baggy pants with braces, and 2 small threadbare jacket, and 2 flat-foot flugies with a Floyd, and with my fedora and the twirling cane I call Kinoora, I spin into the other room where Aggie's on Skype with Bella, age 9, and my age 5, 6,000 miles away in Sweden. And would you believe, no one is not laughing, absolutely hysterically laughing, all 3, except me. 2. Now, I need to go behind the curtains and slip out of the tramp and get down to my me. Ubi? I ask you, who know me best of all after all these years, surely you know my 2 flat feet. And when I sat at the table yesterday, I missed the seat. And I no longer dot my I's or cross my T's. And you think me one of the best, no, I'm really one of the worst. That I need it all the time. I need it in books, in films, whenever I can get it. Because it's the dawn of everything that goes on in me. It's the dawn of birth and the whole ball game. The nakedness of body, your thigh, the warmth of your breast approaching, the yearning for the possibility of it at any moment, that the girl in you, the young woman, might awaken to what she needs outside the quadisto. For here I am, with my bent old cane, shoulders out of the jacket and arms, an immigrant to myself, hung on a hook above my shoes in a corner, 100 years of perennial me in the limelight, a king in New York, with a slap, with a stick, and the flowing length of the sex of water. Voi conoscete le pepe, the oil just still. Slick satin. The satin of BP Slick has killed millions of fish, and still it's taxed shit all, and 11 exploded corpses are blood-crusted on its hands. And don't give me, please, the scolding of the president. He needs that fucking oil for his drones and copters to keep killing innocents abroad. Let's hear it for statistics. How many animals are murdered in the poor and battered Gulf? How many soldiers suicided and overdosing in Afghanistan, Iraqistan, New Yorkistan, Iranistan, San Franciscostan? How many are raising their knives to have done with their humiliated lives worth less than barrels of oil, or putting gun barrels to brains, instead of making the BP rats meet the most gigantic cats in human history, licking our chops, dying for ratatouille between our teeth, blue. Love comes over me like someone who walked away and left a white dress with the little blue flowers behind. Behind, going into the future, radiantly naked. What am I to do with it? Put it on? I don't wear dresses. I love what's inside them. But this one's so sad and alone. I'll just let it lie a while on my chest, against the curve of my arm, and just let blue flowers be blue. La prossima è una poesia sulla strada di San Francisco. Human interlude for Terry Garvin. She was standing near the wall near the Devereux Hotel. She was standing against the wall near the Devereux Hotel. Excuse me, again. Human interlude for Terry Garvin. She was standing against the wall near the Devereux Hotel, holding a plastic cup as it began to rain. I dug for a coin, walked up to her, and dropped it in. It fell to the bottom of an orange drink. I blushed, looked into her ravaged eyes and skin and hair prematurely graying, and said I was sorry. I thought you needed some bread. I do, she said, and smiled. I was just having a little drink. And we stood there laughing together as we watched the raindrops fall on the orange lake above the drowning money. Tanti parole in Yiddish, linguaggio di ebrei, linguaggio anche ebreo vittimizzato durante le guerre seconde con l'Holocaust, la Shoah. The Mali Arcane. swirling turban of her silver hair that she undid every New Year's Eve for my sister Cynthia and me, reached to the floor at our "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Me, 7 years old, Sin, 5 years old, and how Grandma Molly would blush as we took grabs of her hair and went over and under each other like making a braid of the Mayday tree she'd, slowly spinning, turn into. I never saw our babysitter so happy. Certainly not in the pissy, staircase and roach-infested 6th floor tenement flat on Longwood Avenue, where I arrived every Saturday for 7 years to listen to a language I barely understood, and watch her, in a schmata of a house dress, reach into the old brown wood shift robe next to the table, filled with silver stars, purple hearts, medals and insignias, a Nazi wristwatch, a Japanese machete, war trophies of her sons, a photo of President Roosevelt that she talked to, and yank out a bottle of schnapps by the neck, open it, throw back her head, and take a deep swig, wiping her mouth with the back of her hand and continuing talking to me, digging into drawers to find things, with her a brachavzai, O tongue of Vezmirs. Her Yiddish grated down into me and licked me with coarse, sweet abrasion like that of a cat's tongue. With her continuous lamenting, kvetching, her Vegahagits, Shaleppers, Paskudnyakers, her litany of curses, sounding as if stolen from nature itself, and hardly a word did I understand until years later that she'd raised 9 children, but the one she loved most was the 10th, who'd been born after Grandpa Morris died, and she went to bed with the Puerto Rican butcher on Rivington Street, and in Shanda that he had knocked her up, her very own children kidnapped the child at birth from the hospital, took him to a foster home like a deposit bottle, got some cash for him, and called her Kurva and Sitsikas. Meshugavtoit, Gottenu, Revonishkeloil, may they gain in the Chederein, her children, may their kids be born dwarves, may they and their wives and their children never find peace, not a day, not a minute, and may they die suddenly for having sold her baby those Wanzen schreckliche Sachen. And she went to the room where there were nests of cockroaches and a stack of the sepia Forwich newspapers, showed me the back page, a photo of a young Puerto Rican killed in the Korean War on the ground. And with the back of her hand, she slapped the edge of the paper and said he was the son her children had kidnapped years and years ago. Oy, Hatzbete, how mad my Bubba had been driven. And now, today, I've stepped on my own mouth and it's bitten my toes and made me stumble and fall into the pit of blue conscience where I first beheld the radiance of Molly Dadamark, before I knew she was my very own grandmother, and felt her lift me up to her cheek, and felt her fingers scurry along my waist, hearing my screams of laughter as her voice kissed my belly, crying, "Kitzel, Kitzel, oi, Shana." La penultima poesia che leggerò è dedicato a un grande compositore, Cornelius Cardew, originalmente da Galles. Lui è conosciuto nel mondo dopo la guerra seconda sperimentale, ma a un certo punto lui ha scritto non semplicemente sperimentale musica, ma lui ha scritto un libro denunciando Stockhausen e John Cage come compositori nel servizio di imperialismo. E lui, a quel punto, lui ha fondato un piccolo partito comunista in Londra. Lui era assassinato in condizioni sempre sospesi, in un incidente con una macchina, actualmente coincidentemente sul mio compleanno, dicembre 13, in anno 83. Io ho dedicato questa poesia, io sono molto contento a leggere questa poesia, specialmente come io ho parlato con Riccardo e tanti altri della scuola di musica e qui. Questo Cornelius Cardew, un grande compositore, finito prima dell'incidente, sulle dietro di un camion con altri musicisti, the Scratch Orchestra. They went per le strade di Londra suonando le musiche dei popoli, di classe d'operai. They're called the Scratch Orchestra. Okay, questo is The Night for Cornelius Cardew, people's composer. There is a night that does not fall when the sun dies, that does not belong to the clock, yet is worn like an invisible armband of a millennial moment. A child is born and wears it, no matter he suckles in joy or wails at a starving dog. There is a night music burned into the soul of every atom, a music that belongs to the motion of that endless night, so excruciating in its truth, so elemental in its resonance of dissonant despair. It is rarely performed. It is unbearable with grief. Its skizzen books lie in boxes, in cellars or attics of houses, where people listen to sounds of popular liberation, musics that carry them from one copacetic joy to the next through their days. Sometimes this other music will manage to find its way out of a darkness that amounts to subversion. A record will be made, a concert performed. It will rise and present itself as the night that underlies all the nights, so desperate for breath. Sounds are made to fill up every hole so that this other music, this other night, not be sounded. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it finds, through a crack in the headlong rush of survival, a solitude that calls it forth, a conjunction of sorrows that needs it and would need it by means of the fluttering hands of their hearts into a bread that really is present. Then we can hear it emerging, with fingers scraping on the ceilings of our own screaming, gagging mouths, with rifle butts on brains and raisin eyes floating in sockets of blood, with riddles of bullets down the back of a child, with the sounds of ankles being broken, with the crackles of immolation and the wine bottle of gasoline drunk by a collapsing wall. It emerges. It brings the perennial of darkness close to our nostrils. We smell that night of death which triumphed and died, and the time it will take to die of it the rest of our lives. Finalmente path. Go to your broken heart. If you think you don't have one, get one. To get one, be sincere. Learn sincerity of intent by letting life enter, because you're helpless really to do otherwise. Even as you try escaping, let it take you and tear you open like a letter sent, like a sentence inside you waited for all your life, though you've committed nothing. Let it send you up. Let it break you, heart. Brokenheartedness is the beginning of all real reception. The ear of humility hears beyond the gates. See the gates opening. Feel your hands going akimbo on your hips. Your mouth opening like a womb giving birth to your voice for the first time. Go singing, whirling into the glory of being ecstatically simple. Write the poem.
Umberto ci ha fatto sentire misterioso, ci ha fatto sentire ingorbato, quindi adesso manca solo